everyone, this is Mel from Cardstock Concoctions. I am back again bringing you guys another really cute treat holder. And what is inside of this treat holder? But 2 Dove milk chocolates. I believe these are the Dove Bliss milk chocolates. Don't quote me on that. So they're about 1 inch by 1 inch square, and they fit 2 of them in this one little thing. So it's a really cute treat holder. I made some of these for my friend for her birthday recently. And so I thought it would be fun to share it with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. And just to let everybody know, you don't need to write down any directions or anything like that. Go ahead and click in the description bar below and you can find everything that you need. It'll take you to my site and get you to the tutorial. All right, all that's done. So what are you guys gonna need today? You are going to need a 2 inch by 5 inch long piece of designer series paper. And this one here is Pop of Pink. And, you know, everybody really loves this paper, and so I just now started to kind of sort of hop on the bandwagon here. So we are going to actually start on the 2 inch side. Now, I don't know about you guys, small square lines, I can't do them way over here on the far side because I am right-handed, so I'm going to rotate mine. But in the directions, it'll say score at 3/8 of an inch and 1 and 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to score at 1 5/8 of an inch, turn it around, and score at 1 5/8 of an inch. Just because I can. Alright, so then you're going to want to turn it to your 5 inch side, so horizontally. And you're going to want to score at 2 inches and 3 inches. And you're going to do partial score lines at 1 1/2 inch, just down to that first score line. So you have that first score line at 3/8 of an inch, take that 1 1/2 inch score line down to that 1 3/8 inch, and same thing with this 3 1/2 inch score line down to that 3/8 inch score line. Rotate it around, do the same thing. So 1 1/2 down to that 3/8 inch score line, and 3 1/2 down to that 3/8 inch score line. All right, you're all done with scoring. I know, so hard, right? Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So now here's the important part. You're going to grab a bone folder. You're going to want to fold and burnish along your score lines, your main score lines. Those 1/2 inch score lines, go ahead and leave those alone. You don't really need to burnish those. All right. Let's go ahead and fold. And last one. Burnish. Don't like really burnish really hard, otherwise you guys are just going to crack your paper. Alright, so we can see the square lines better on this side. And so you have your really long ones, long skinny ones next to your longer rectangle, and you have your square one in the center here. You're going to want to leave your centers alone, and then those little half score lines, those are the ones you guys are going to want to cut up. So cut up all your little half score lines there. I got something on my scissors. Alright, let's get that off. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to snip there, and I'm going to snip here. Hopefully you guys can see all this. Snip here. Now you guys don't have to put in those score lines. That just made it a lot easier for me. Alright, so now you guys see these really long, thin rectangle right here, including the half score line that you guys just trimmed up, and that score line right there. Go ahead, and I want you guys to cut all the way down that score line. That half score line is just, you know, helps you, you know, kind of make a good estimation. Go ahead and do that on all sides. And yes, you will have a couple pieces that fall off. That's a good thing. These, go ahead and get rid of them. Turn it over. I'm going to do the same thing. And go ahead and do this side as well. Typically it's a good thing if they fall off. That means you cut right. Let's go ahead and get rid of those little pieces, those little tiny rectangles there. So now before we assemble our little treat container here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Scalloped Tag Topper Punch. I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to take my piece of paper, maybe better going in this way, apparently, and it's not gonna go all the way across because this thing is not 2 inches wide. It's more like 1¼ inch wide. So I'm kind of gonna line it up in the center there all the way to the back. You guys can see that. Go ahead and punch. Whoops, there we go, now it came out. Okay, and then do the same thing on the other side. All the way to the back, centered as much as you can. Go ahead and turn around and punch. That's it. That's all you need your scalloped tag topper punch for. Let's see if I can say that 3 times fast. I can't, but that's okay. You guys can do this with snail. I'm going to use fast fuse today. And those little tabs that you cut apart, go ahead and just add just a little bit of adhesive. You don't need a lot. Glue dots also work. Tear tape also works, but you don't really need that. All right, and then you're just going to take and fold those tabs in and line up that score line with your cut edge. Same thing over here. Score line with your cut edge. Doing it again. Score line, cut edge. And last but not least, score line with the cut edge. All right, now we're going to grab our 2 chocolates here. Again, 2 chocolates, 2 doves. Go ahead and slide those in. I found putting the chocolates in before I tie the ribbon so much easier. All right, so this is our Melon Mambo thick baker's twine. And I'm just going to cut off, 3 pieces that are 3 inches long. So how I do that is I kind of just measure out 3 inches on my grid paper, fold it over a couple of times, hack them off, and then I kind of just cut through those. I found that to be a much easier way of doing this than trying to measure out 3 individual pieces. And thread that through. Oops, missed one. Get all 3 of them through. All right, there we go. Did I get all 3? Yes. All right, and then you've got all 3 of them here. Kind of pull them up together. You're going to take a little bit more of your Melon Mambo thick baker's twine. Hold them all together. Let's see if I can do this and talk. And you're going to tie a knot. Sorry if my fingers are in the way. I'm actually just going to cut this off. I can't get my fingers out of the way and have you guys see all at the same time. So you're going to lay that flat. And you're going to want to tie a knot. Make sure they're all together. Sometimes I actually found this easier if I held it up. Just held it up in my fingers. Go ahead and hold them all. Tie them all together. There we go. Nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight. So if you guys want it tighter, just pull up on your baker's twine there. Take your knot and push it down a little bit more. And there you go. So I'm going to trim off all my edges. And yes, I cut off way too much baker's twine for that, by the way. And then you're going to see the top here, and you're going to want to trim these up just a little bit. You don't want to go too much, you don't want to go too short, but you want them a little bit shorter, a little bit more even. All right, let's get that all out of the way. All right, so there's our little treat holder made, but let's go ahead and do some stamping. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a 1/2 inch, I say about 2 inches piece of Whisper White scrap. And I'm going to be using the Teeny Tiny Wishes, and I'm using this Sweet Treat. So I already have that mounted up for us here. Then I got our black Tuxedo Memento ink. Make sure I've got my stamp right side up here. All right, and straight down, straight up. Nope, I don't like that one. We're gonna go to the other side of it. So you guys think I can stamp straight all the time the first time out the door? Doesn't always happen. Okay, it rarely happens. That's too high, we're gonna flip it over. 3rd time's the charm, guys. All right, one more. Line it up. Okay, 4th time's the charm. Go a little bit further south here without sticking my head in the camera. That's so much better. Okay, that's perfect. So you don't really need that whole entire length there, as you guys can see. But I'm just gonna angle in here, and we're gonna make it we're gonna pin at the ends here. I'm going to cut this part off because we don't need that. And again, I'm just going to angle in. I'm going to take off some of that excess over there. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to trim this one just a little bit smaller. Okay. Get rid of all those little itty bitty pieces. I'm going to come back in with my sponge. Grab my sponge. Just sponge the edges, just to give it a little bit of dimension and color and things like that. All right, all done with that. And last but not least, we're gonna turn it over. Pull up our dimensionals here, and I'm just gonna take, you know, one of these edge pieces, stick it there in the center, pull the backing off. Make sure this is right side up before I put it on my treat container. And, oops, center. There we go. There we go. All cute. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, go ahead and click down in that description bar below. It'll get you guys to this free tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks a lot. Come and see me again. This is Mel from Cardstock Concoctions saying bye now.